So Invasion Day, yeah? You don't see a problem with calling it Invasion Day and having a big protest while one of the biggest celebrations in our country to celebrate the fact that we get to live every day without someone turning around telling us exactly what to do based on some sort of silly religion or a government that says you must do this, you must do that. You know, this Invasion Day thing, the protests in Brisbane, they don't get it. Look, what you aren't getting is me and every other person in Australia today was not born or was not here in this country when all this happened. Everything that's happened since the, what's the term? The landing, I guess they call it, of the First Fleet when they turned up. The only people who were on that boat when it turned up, under their own choice, were the people in charge. Most of the people on that boat were convicts. You know, as in, they were serving a jail term for doing some sort of crime. Whether it be stealing a bit of food to feed your family or whatnot, you know. Then they didn't come here. A lot of them didn't come here by choice, but they're here, or they came here, and they all worked. They all worked hard. They slept in crap conditions. A lot of them died due to poor medical treatments. They were taken from their families, who could no longer visit them. They were taken from the place they knew about, the place they grew up in, dragged halfway across the country under duress to come here. And when they came here, there was nothing. So, you know, a lot of the people that came here by boat, the First Fleet, didn't come here with a choice. They were forced to come here. So, you know, it's not my fault this happened. It's not your fault this happened. But think about it this way. If that First Fleet didn't come and settle in this country, things would be a completely different kettle of fish right now. Every other civilization that's been taken over by anyone else hasn't exactly fared very well. Civilizations that were taken over, invaded by the British back in those days, a lot of them have fared very well. I mean, take the United States. Yeah, you've got, you know, same deal. You've got the Native Indians. New Zealand with the Maori. You've got Australia with our Aborigines. And all that sort of thing. You know, the British did invade a lot of places, but they also turned them into very, very good nations at the end of the day. I mean, the flag you may not agree with. How things panned out initially you may not agree with, but you have to give it one thing, or a few things, but you have to give it at least one thing. We got to where we are now because of that happening, and we've got a pretty well sewn up. You know, we have freedom of expression, we have freedom to protest, we have rights to work, we have rights to earn a living, we have rights to a free education. That's everyone. Education is universal. We've got universal healthcare, which even the US doesn't have. They're working on bringing it in with Obamacare, but that's still not 100% universal. You know, we've got a pretty good. We live a pretty free life at the expense that we have to go out and make money to live. I mean, we can't go free nomad everywhere. That's true, but that's the same with pretty much every society in the world. Any society that doesn't run that way. I mean, you've got your Papua New Guinean natives and that sort of thing. Research a lot of that stuff if you want to. A lot of your African tribes. Look that stuff up as well if you want to. But no, I'd have to say here in Australia we've done pretty well. Yeah, we've got a bit of a shaded past, but so does a lot of countries. But at the end of the day, you're getting a pretty safe ride into adulthood from childhood. I mean, you've got, your mortality rates and incarceration rates and that sort of thing. But a lot of that comes down to personal choice or lifestyle choices. Some of it's based on where you're born, but that's not all of us. I mean, just because you're born in a bad neighborhood or you've had a bit of a rough upbringing, doesn't mean you have to grow up to be a repeat of what you grew up with. It's your choice to move on from here, to better yourself, to better those around you who have given you, not the best of starts. I mean, as it is, I grew up in housing commission houses. My mother was poor, dare I say it. But I've had to work my way through things. I mean, I'm not highly educated. I've done my year 12. I did a certificate for information technology as part of a workplace agreement thing that I did. I live on a very modest salary. I mean, I barely push 20-30K a year if I'm lucky. I mean, everything I've got, I've had to work for, and I don't stress about it. But it wasn't none of it was given to me. I mean, as far as selling goes, I mean, they've even given me a letter last year saying I owe them $800 because of some sort of calculation thing on their part. But I still had to pay that. But anyway, so they don't give me any sort of special rides or anything like that either. But I guess the biggest thing I'm saying is we as a country are doing it pretty good. We get a pretty good run regardless of who we are. I mean, there's more in the world at the moment to have to deal with, really, with everything going on everywhere. I mean, you've got people trying to kill people, dare I say it, people driving into people because of reasons I've got no idea. The world's a little bit messed up at the moment, but there's more important things to have to worry about at the moment than something that I had no control over when I was younger or when I was born. I don't know, it's hard. It is hard to it's not hard to sympathise. I understand a lot of what happened, but what I can't sympathise with is all the crap that goes on with all this, knowing that there's so much bigger stuff to have to deal with at the moment. I mean, you've got your religious extremists currently causing a lot of drama around the place. You've got all sorts of mess-ups with governments and things. I mean, people are starting to sort of see other things we have to work with, But, look, I love being in Australia. I love this day. Because it means I can just be... I can be myself. I can enjoy myself, knowing that I'm in one of the luckiest places in the world. And no one can really say or take that away. It's an awesome place to live. That's all I can say. I mean, between here and New Zealand, yeah, the two of them are really good countries, really. But Australia's where I was born. We've got awesome stuff like, Vegemite. No one can go past that stuff. It's the best spread in the world, even though the Americans try to eat it with a big spoonful like it's Nutella, but it's not. You gotta use little bits. But anyway. No, I don't know. The whole invasion thing, yeah, look, it has happened, but don't try and ruin what is an awesome way of expressing who we are as a nation, aka free and able and liberal. We can say what we want. I mean, yeah. I mean, that kind of contradicts the don't sort of go and protest thing or whatever, but, enjoy the day for what it is. And then use your times to go out, educate people. Don't sort of jump and rave and burn stuff and all that sort of thing. Just educate people. Say, this is what we are, this is how we feel. And, and understand it is an awesome country to live in. Things could be much worse. We could be in a much worse location. That wouldn't be hard. We've got really good beaches and really nice weather. Except for Brisbane in the last month or so. It's been stupidly hot, but no, it's a lovely place to live. But anyway, that's just a little rant. Feel free to comment down below or whatever. I'll try and answer or respond to as many as I can. But anyway, have a good one. Happy Australia Day, people.